Good morning, everyone. This is Corey Hinkle with your Ankerstar Wealth Daily Update. Today, we're going to look at the push and pull between consumer sentiment, what consumers are feeling and why, versus the momentum and the strength that we're seeing out of semiconductor stocks in particular in the stock market that's really pushing the entire market higher at this point. Before I begin, I must remind you this is a financial education presentation. You must do your own due diligence before acting on anything you hear in this presentation. More disclaimer information can be found on anchorstarwealth.com, and the opinions expressed are mine and mine alone. We do have the S&P 500 flat on the day. Why? Well, we'll also talk today about earnings. So we're going to have a big week of earnings. All a majority of the S&P 500 really all reporting earnings this week, and we've already heard from the banks who are pretty economically sensitive and made it through that part of the earnings season okay. So we'll talk just a little bit about who's reporting this week, and then we'll get more into that later this week as that unfolds. But you can see Qualcomm jumping 12% on a report it's partnering with OpenAI on smartphone AI chip. So we will see. If you've got anything connected to semiconductors in your business, your stock is likely much higher in the past couple of weeks. But at that same time, we do have a trend in Americans' rating of current economic conditions at really low levels, not as low as the bottom in 2022 when inflation was peaking, but rating it fairly low, and then a 47% saying that economic conditions in the country are poor. I will include just, on a personal note, we have had trouble maintaining the savings rates that we want. Now, part of it's because we have kids and kids, a lot of stuff just pops up. And we got to take one to the doctor today. Even he's okay, but try to see if he needs any medicine or something. But inflation has gotten really tough, and it's really pervasive at this point. It seems to have crept into lots of parts of daily life, and I really feel for people out there who are trying to make ends meet, especially, imagine a single parent, male or female. I really do feel for folks who are dealing with these inflation pressures on their own, and we've certainly noticed it just personally. So yeah, you have that, and then you see things like this. Oil prices briefly top 108. Let's go see what it is actually right now. So still up at 107. Again, not quite at those highs, but oil is pricing in. What did the article say? That the Iran peace talks unraveled. What? Who could have seen that coming? That's crazy. I would have never seen that coming. Just kidding. Okay, but I did actually want to show you this. So this is kind of the crude oil futures, the curve. So this is what investors are paying as they go out in time for oil. And you can see that in June of 2026, still expecting very elevated oil. Remember, we're getting close here to May, so we're still technically in April. So if you're looking at, April high, May high, June still really high, July high, and this is August is as high as it's ever been. So until recently, investors had been pricing in or placing their investments, whatever, invested dollars, their bets, on the idea that this crude oil prices would moderate very quickly, and that the peace talks would be successful, things would return to normal very quickly. We're just recently seeing very elevated prices out in August. So investors are coming around to the idea that these higher oil, higher for longer, as it relates to oil prices, is the likely outcome. You do see a steady curve down, and actually show you this. So this is what that curve actually is. It's not a yield curve. The oil market expectations oil curve. You can see we get back to the 70s in. We're supposed to get back to the 70s. Oh my goodness, in January of 27. So still okay. Back to the 70s in October of 26. But you could see, look, along this curve, there's people obviously placing their bets, but you could see there's an upward pressure there. And then, of course, as you get up to 2032, I mean, nobody really knows. So it's just kind of a baseline price expectation. Of course, any future oil shocks would change that. So I don't know. What do you think? Do you think the peace talks will resolve quickly? Do you think oil prices will moderate really quickly? Or do you think this is going to be a messier situation? I did speak to, not Steve, but somebody, a close contact of mine who is an active service member, and their comment was along the lines of things in the Middle East always take longer than expected. And so, if you were to take that thought from the person who told me that things over there always take longer than expected, then you'd be thinking higher for longer. But at the same time, what exists outside of just normal consumer sentiment, normal oil prices, consumer prices, that is semiconductors. Semiconductors are being sold to the most powerful company, the richest companies on earth, right, at record pace. And we saw SMH, the primary semiconductor ETF, down at 361 on March 30th or 362, and all the way up to 510. So not quite a 50% increase, but also pretty close to a 50% increase just really in the month of April. And, so it depends how you describe it, but some might say it's almost nearly parabolic. Now, if you come over here, we do see some research that this is new relative highs. So semiconductors at new relative highs compared to the S&P 500 since the dot-com peak in March of 2000. So a new relative all-time high to the S&P 500 with a 31% 4-week outperformance. That's why you're seeing just semiconductors alone push the market higher. NVIDIA probably pushing $5.5 trillion. I don't know exactly what it's doing today. So very strong momentum. You'd like to see that broaden out. And just frankly, when I go through the index, you got 5 trillion NVIDIA at least, 2 trillion at least in Broadcom, $1 trillion between Micron and AMD, $500 billion in Intel. Qualcomm was up 13% today. If you really add these things up, you're probably pushing 15% of the index in semiconductors. And, if you were to get to 20% of the index is all semiconductors, to me, that'd be a red flag. But we're not there yet. And so we'll see what happens. Obviously, that's why we do what we do, right? These things unfold, and business is very good for that sector. You cannot deny that. Okay, earnings week. Just really wanted to highlight this. We've got a bunch of big companies on Wednesday. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta will be coming to you with information related to those things. And Thursday, Apple, Eli Lilly, also it was $1 trillion company. Wow. Very interested to hear from Caterpillar after this run they have had recently. That's all I have for you today. Big earnings week, a big push and pull between consumers and the semiconductor stocks, or really the AI build out part of the market. I know it's a story it's not the first time you've heard me say it, but it is just the primary driver out there right now. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Please send us any questions you have so we can get those answered for you. Well, good. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon.